Okay, Doug Littrell again. This time I'm inside, in front of my computer. I tried to make a video outside, at least inside. You won't hear any highway noise from the highway that's too close to my house. I mispronounced the word man, of all things, so I'm doing this over inside. It got too dark now. This is probably the most special video. Well, it doesn't have any experiments, but it explains why I'm doing this. This is the gist of why I'm doing this. Explained right here in a one-page written statement read to you. This is why I've spent well over 20,000 hours in 11 years coming up with things like a better atom model than the standard model, in my opinion. Something that's more realistic. Also showing why, with some experiments, showing why relativity and its equivalence principle is artificial and false. Then this is called How to Treat Counterintuitive Proposals. Nothing is counterintuitive if you understand it properly. First of all, before launching into that topic, I would like to mention one more thing about something I discussed in videos number 3 and 4, wherein I alleged that there was a density problem between elements having larger atoms compared to those with smaller atoms. That problem would tend to be exacerbated by molecular structuring, or rather what is called allotropy, instead of that alleviating or resolving the issue. I'm not saying that graphite couldn't have an open structure, yet larger spheres fitting together tend to have larger spaces between them than smaller spheres would have. Now, concerning numerous things that we would term counterintuitive, one thing that's counterintuitive is when two objects, and this concerns relativity, what relativity postulates. When two objects are given enough distance to fall from same or equal locations relative to two separate but equal stars, or simply to Earth's surface from, let's say, a mile or more up, including if they have plenty of mass contrast as well, that those would pass through space or Earth's atmosphere, having the exact same acceleration rates toward either large body attracting them. Whenever that's contrasted with that firmly established reality of gravity pulling a 150-pound man down toward the ground a good bit less than it does a 250-pound man. The key there is plenty of drop distance and mass contrast, which all of the tests done, whether to reinforce or hoping to disprove relativity's equivalence principle, have failed to properly address until now. Something counterintuitive like that needs to be tested quite extensively, while final conclusions should be drawn less quickly in cases that have massive philosophical implications, like that has. Conclusions which not only affect our overall outlook regarding how and why bodies orbit, but impact the general tenor of our species' prevailing philosophical approach also. For when you embrace one counterintuitive item, that opens the door so that even worse things might crawl in and appear confirmed, as many of us could then begin to allow charlatans to become our guides, some of which don't know they are confused and or being played. Unfortunately, this sort of thing has been very common among religious faith claimants and their theological content, much as how it is starkly counterintuitive that any human has ever risen from the dead. That is not how biology works, very opposed to its natural pattern affecting all living things, for life is temporary, a temporary endeavor, concerning all lower animals and plants, all while our species' ancestry is inherently linked to theirs. A temporary endeavor, i.e., relative to each individual organism, just as how that's been reliably observed. Keep in mind that everything in this galaxy is destined to be ripped apart and assimilated into the Milky Way's black hole, which will happen even if future humans manage to reach another suitable planet in another solar system whose dominating primary body has a longer lifespan than the sun. For everything in the general vicinity will still end up inside the Milky Way's black hole eventually. Even so, given what's been the preponderant pattern of deception among so many of Earth's life forms, which includes charlatans in the case of humanity, if a certain group of witnesses once claimed that someone rose from the dead, there is near guaranteed certainty that some version of deception has been deployed in that instance also, even if that happened for various difficult reasons that were unforeseen by that assertion's original claimants. Forasmuch as someone rising from the dead is quintessentially counterintuitive, therefore extremely unlikely, thus such a claim has been needing to experience far more scrutiny than it's had to endure before now. Scrutiny from those who actually care about their minds, including those of their children, consume. They can care about what their minds, including those of their children, consume. Whether some presentation is indeed factual or just one more misleading farce with the ultimate design of snaring or grasping a vast number of people to turn them into supporting patrons, even if such a faith holds itself up as necessary by being the source of everything good and moral. That's it.